Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lacey, and this is Literary Looks. In today's video, it's something I thought of myself. Um, I'm going to be reading books, and I'm sure maybe somebody else has thought of this, I'm sure. But that I read two books that I got from the library. You got to support your local library. Um, Back when I was in elementary school when I was about 9 or 10, and the other one I read when I was about 17 or 18 in my senior year of high school. So I'm going to be reading them for 72 hours. Today is Sunday. It's already 6, almost 6:30 my time. So I'm going to give myself part of Wednesday to read it, and then I'm going to upload the video. Today is Sunday. If I haven't said that already, the two books that I picked out from the library that I read when I was younger, and then we're going to recap and see what I think about the books today, is The Giver by Lois Lowry and Nicholas Sparks, A Walk to Remember. Now, speaking of Nicholas Sparks, I met him at a book fair in UCLA or something, college or something. I wasn't going there, but anyway. And I got to ask him a question. He was really nice. And he autographed my Walk to Remember book. Don't know where that's at. And he autographed this other book called The Guardian that he wrote. And don't know where that's at either. I'm going to have to look for those because, man, that stinks. I mean, they were personally autographed by him when I met him. So I would like to get those back. But when I moved, a lot of stuff went missing, as it does when you move. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing today. I am going to start with, let's see, what should I start with? I think I'm going to start in order. So I was 9 or 10 first, so I'm going to start with The Giver, and then I'm going to do A Walk to Remember. So we're going to go through a few days together. I'm wearing my choosing that Scholastic Book Fair high that I got from Etsy. It's really cool. I love it. Remember Scholastic? If any of you remember that, the book fair, weren't those cool with the little catalogs and you get to pick out your favorite books and go and get them? It was so much fun. I loved that when I was a kid. Anyway, oh my gosh, my first word, um, strangely enough, because usually it's mama or dada, was book. So that was fitting for me. At least according to my mom. So anyway. Well, let's get on with it. Let's go to reading. So I'm back with an update, and here are my thoughts thus far. Now, I did about an hour, but to be honest with you, I got distracted a little bit. I talked on the phone, had to eat dinner, things like that. So anyway, it was about an hour. About, roughly, maybe a little under. And okay, when I read this when I was 9 or 10, did not realize that this was cultish like. I mean, seriously, it says, "Attention, this is a reminder to females under 9 that hair ribbons are to be neatly tied at all times." Like, that's such a big deal. That's petty. And all these petty things, like, um, this is a reminder to male 11s that objects are not to be removed from the recreation area and that snacks are to be eaten, not hoarded. Who cares? And so essentially this is about, in case you don't know already, if you haven't read the book, Jonas, the main character, Lily and Asher, his two friends. They're the main characters in the book, but Jonas is the main character. And they live in a community that is ruled by these elders, and they have very petty, stupid rules thus far that I could see. That's what I've picked out, and it's just a little strange. But of course, I don't think I picked up on the cultish, you know, ways in this book when I read it when I was 9 or 10, because I was 9 or 10. I don't know. So, anyway, what I think of it so far, it's entertaining to read. I like the dialogue. I like um the way the author wrote, his conversations between the characters. I like the characters. It's not a bad book thus far. I just think that within the book, the story itself, it's very cult-like. Of course, I saw the movie too, when it came out and it had Miss Taylor Swift in it as she had a cameo, like a smaller part. But anyway, I don't know if any of you saw the movie, let me know in the comments down below. Or if you've read the book, let me know in the comments down below. So we'll see what I think of the rest of the book as I read it in the next 72 hours, along with A Walk to Remember. I cried during A Walk to Remember, so I'm sure I'm still going to have the same feelings, but who knows? Maybe it'll resonate differently with me now that I'm older. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm liking what I'm reading so far. It's just like I said, very cultish. Okay. Well, it's late here and I'm a grandma and I'm like a grandma. I'm a grandma. No, I'm not a grandma. I'm not that old. But I don't have any grandkids. But I'm like a grandma because I go to bed pretty early. I literally go to bed between 8 and 9, maybe 9:30 the latest. So, anyway, I'm going to check in back with you guys tomorrow and let you know any reading updates. Okay. Hi, I'm back with another reading update on The Giver. Now, I'm at the part where Jonas talks about how he had a dream and his mother finds it worrisome. It's a dream. I don't know. But I'm not that far in the book because I had some things happen today that kind of got in my way. But I do plan on, or I'm going to, I'm not going to say plan on, because whenever I say plan on, you know what happens? You don't do it. I'm going to read up to chapter 15, which is more than half the book, and then I'm going to finish the rest of the book in the morning tomorrow so that I could finally start A Walk to Remember in time, so that I could be done with this by the Wednesday evening and post this up on YouTube. So, I'm going to be reading the rest of the day, and then we'll go from there. Check in back with you guys later. Bye. Okay, so here because, well, I was tired and it became, by the time I was about to film, it was already like close to my bedtime. So I didn't give you guys any updates. I finished The Giver today and I'm going to give you my thoughts of it about more like my rating at the end of the video. Um, Basically, I really liked it is what I'll say. And there was something in the book that happened, and this is a spoiler-free channel, so I'm not gonna give it away. But for those of you that have seen the movie or read the book and seen the movie, that really bothered me. But it had nothing to do with the author's writing. It had nothing to do with how good the book is. It just the conflict in the book, like with this thing that happened, it just bothered me. But we'll go more. I'll go more into the reading at the end of this video today. I am going to be starting A Walk to Remember. So basically, I have a few hours to read that. As long as I finish it before midnight, it still counts as Wednesday. So I'm going to do that. And then I'll wrap up. So I really liked the relationship between Jonas and the Giver. And side note, Lily is not his friend, it's Jonas's sister. I was misinformed. As I read the book, I realized that. And Fiona and Archer are his friends. I said Archer was his friend before, but I mentioned Lily as his friend, but that's his sister. So I really like the relationship between the Giver and Jonas. I think it's very sweet and sentimental. There's a lot of love there between them, like a father-son type thing almost, or like a mentor type thing, obviously. But overall, the book is really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So until I see you next time to talk about A Walk to Remember, it is to be continued. Boom. Okay. Well, I'm back again. Here I am, and I'm back again. Well, I thought this was going to be a 72-hour challenge, but apparently not.
Sorry, pal.
My bad. I am really tired, and this girl is a little delulu because I woke up at 3 a.m. and I didn't go back to sleep. I can't think. So if I don't make any sense, then, and you don't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, I apologize for that up front. I haven't finished A Walk to Remember, obviously. I am going to finish it by tomorrow for sure. So this was more of like a 5-day thing than a 3-day thing. And I actually initially thought about that in my head, like, should I do Monday through Friday or should I do 72 hours? And stupid me already told you guys 72 hours when obviously I couldn't fulfill that. So there's that. As far as the book is concerned, I'm liking what I'm reading. I like the dialogue for that goes on in the main character, describing things Landon Carter, describing the town and the people and the second main character, Jamie Sullivan. I'm on page 31. That's how far I am in the book. Wow, real far. So, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I will give you guys some more details in the next update when I finish the book, and I will give you my rating, and I will give you my rating for The Giver as well. So there's that, and I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll check back in with you later. Well, I'm back again, and what a surprise. It's 6 days now. Today is Saturday. And in my defense, I had guests come over yesterday, so I couldn't read most of the day until like about 7-ish, and then I only read for around an hour, which didn't get me that many pages in, obviously. We need to address the elephant in the room. See this mark right here? That's because I went to the dermatologist, okay? Not because I fell. I had a mole and they had to get rid of it and test it for cancer, but I doubt it. He said it's highly unlikely likely that it's cancerous. Well, getting on to the book, A Walk to Remember. I like it. Like I liked it when I remember liking it when I read it when I was a teenager, way back when, way back in the olden days. Way back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Now I'm dating myself. But I didn't remember Landon Carter, the main character, being so shallow. Like it says in page 21. It's not that Jamie was unattractive, don't get me wrong. She wasn't hideous or anything like that. Fortunately, she'd taken after her mother, who, based on the pictures I'd seen, wasn't half bad, especially considering who she ended up marrying. But Jamie wasn't exactly what I considered attractive either. Despite the fact that she was thin and with honey blonde hair and soft blue eyes, most of the time she sort of looked plain. And that was when you noticed her at all. Jamie didn't care much about outward appearances because she was always looking for things like inner beauty. And I suppose that's part of the reason she looked the way she did. For as long as I'd known her, and this was going way back, remembered she'd worn her hair in a tight bun, almost like a spinster, without a stitch of makeup on her face. Coupled with her usual brown cardigan and plaid skirt, she always looked as though she were on her way to an interview for a job at the library. So yeah, there's quite a few instances throughout this book so far where he talks about the way girls look, and he's really focused on outward beauty, and that I feel like that makes him really shallow, obviously. I mean, that's the definition of shallow. However, I do remember as I'm reading this book that Jamie really influences him in a positive way, and he redeems himself and becomes more mature in the end. But I really like Jamie's character, Jamie Sullivan, because she has a sunny disposition. She's always looking for the positive in others, and whatever the situation is, she still has a way to look at it in a happy light. So I like her a lot. I don't dislike Landon Carter. I just don't like that about him, because, I mean, it's like he's putting girls on a scale, like judging them. So that's not cool. But anyway, I'll get back with you guys later and let you know what I think of this book and what my final rating is. And until then, I'll see you guys later in the future. Well, I finally finished A Walk to Remember.
Luca! Bueno? Piñas! ¡No le piñu! ¡Piñu! ¡Piñu!
Remember, and it took almost a week to do this challenge or task or whatever you want to call it, but I finished it. And I'm going to give you my thoughts in 1 second after I give you my thoughts on The Giver. Well, The Giver, I think, is a really good book. It's a really good read. I like the character dynamics between Jonas and The Giver, and the baby and Jonas. I don't remember the baby's name for the life of me. Is it Gabe? I don't know. I watched the movie The Giver, like on YouTube, and I saw it years ago, and it has Taylor Swift in it, like I said, and I really enjoyed it, but I think the book and the movie are about tied. One complaint I do have about the book is the ending is so abrupt. I felt like there could have been more to the ending, so because of that, I give this book 4.5 stars out of 5. Now, A Walk to Remember, which is a book I read when I was 18, it still resonates with me today, and I mean, Nicholas Sparks has a way of tugging at your heartstrings. I really like the relationship between Landon Carter and Jamie Sullivan, especially as it went on throughout the book, as, you know, it got closer to the middle to the end of the book. And I feel like, I mean, it resonates with me more. I'm not going to say why. You could assume why that could be that now than it did when I was 17 or 18, but you know, it makes you really emotional when you read it because he's that good of a writer, and that's why I've always liked his books. But another thing I appreciate about this book is there's no spice. It's like PG, so that's good. And I'm going to read you a few inserts of some certain parts of the book I liked. And I bookmarked it, so it doesn't take me 10 million years to find it, hopefully. Or maybe it will. 10 million years later. Okay. So, Um, this is the part, there's a play in the book. I'm not going to give too much away. And it says, she looked like an angel. She looked like an angel. I know my jaw dropped a little, and I just saw. Oh, the bookmark's in the way. I just stood there looking at her for what seemed like a long time, shocked into silence, until I suddenly remembered that I had a little line I had to deliver. I took a deep breath, then slowly let it out. "You're beautiful," I finally said to her, and I think everyone in the whole auditorium, from the blue-haired ladies in the front to my friends in the back row, knew that I actually meant it. I nailed that line for the very first time. I thought that was sweet. And then another one I liked was I thought about okay, wait, hold on. Blah blah blah. I thought about times I've walked from home and how I helped collect jars and cans filled with pennies for the orphans. As these images were going through my head, my breathing suddenly went still. I looked at Jamie, then up to the ceiling and around the room, doing my best to keep my composure, then back to Jamie again. She smiled at me, and I smiled at her, and all I could do was wonder how I had fallen in love with a girl like Jamie Sullivan. Yeah, that gave it away a little, but I try not to have spoilers in my on my channel, but I just had to read that. I couldn't help it. It was sweet. So, I like how sweet this book is. So, I definitely give this book cuz it keeps you enthralled and then you just keep reading and you read faster when you like it. I notice, at least I do. And I've seen the movie. I actually met Mandy Moore at a concert, and I met Shane West, who played in the movie, at his concert at the Roxy when I was like 18. And then I heard they're coming out with a remake of the movie, so we'll see how that is. But I don't know if it's going to compare to the one they did, because that really, was. I really like that movie because it was during my time when I was a teenager. So I give this book a 5 out of 5 for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. So there's that. I'm going to be filming a video tomorrow because my normal filming time is on Mondays. And so I'll be back at it again. And until I see you next time, whatever time you're watching this, I hope you have a lovely day, afternoon, and good night. And please be kind to one another because kindness is so important. And you never know what a person may be going through. And that's what I always say, and I mean it. And that's what I appreciated about Jamie because she was kind. Okay, bye.